Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Folked. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Get Folked, a casual listening podcast anchored in our love of folk music, but with enough slack on the line to take you into our worlds of Berlin, Limerick, and beyond. My name is Andrew.
My name is Edward Double Black Brophy. Welcome to the Get Folked podcast. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Substack. Join us, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify. You can follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and you can watch us on YouTube. Those of you who know where we live, you can come visit us, but do contact us beforehand. Tell us that you're coming, so that we know.
Put on the kettle.
Well, in Andy's case, put on some clothes.
Yeah, we're back to sweaty Berlin time. And I've noticed these sleeveless tops are not they're not withstanding the test of time. There's where it was under the armpit is it ripped a tiny bit. I remember the rip happening last year, but now it's like any extreme movement can just be a continuation of that opening. So pretty soon I'm gonna just have a poncho, but a very scantily equipped poncho.
I would say your poncho that you're going to end up with, that micro poncho, is to ponchos what like a little I don't know, I can't think of a good thing. A double black. What's the difference between double black and Johnny Walker? Double black and Johnny Walker black. That's what I'm drinking. I'm drinking double black whiskey.
I feel like they just I think about €10 probably is about the only difference.
Different bottle. I can't see any difference. But you're looking well. I mean, I thought you meant it didn't age well in terms of the fashion sense, in terms of Vogue.
Oh, the fashion? Are you kidding me? Jesus, yeah. I'm cutting edge. You know that we've talked about this already, haven't we? That the 90s are back. That fucking.
I'm not sure have we, but
it's back. I know flared jeans are back. Baggy shit.
Actually, yeah.
Lots of pockets. Pockets seem to be. The pockets never left my.
Well, that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing because I mean we never embraced. There's a certain part of Europe that really likes the man bag, and that we resisted that. Like. As Irish people, we resisted.
I didn't resist the man bag, though.
Oh fuck, you didn't actually. You're a big satchel guy, actually. Fuck, I forgot about that. Yeah. So you fuck up the whole thing because you have pockets and a satchel. So you've got a dual system. You're like the HSE and private healthcare in Ireland, and it all none of it works. You know, you can't find anything. It's just the whole system. The whole system is fucked. Went political there. That's what the podcast is about now, guys.
But we slip it in subliminally.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you'll all be fucking voting green, or whatever the party would be that you need to stop
purple.
this.
Vote purple. Vote purple. Do you know? I was listening to a song last night. It was at a session, and one of the musicians, his name is Gary, and really enjoy his song selection, his singing, and he. There was a song. I think it's called "The Contender," and you know what? I'm going to have to roll back on my Christy Moore criticism. You know, like I said something like I'm going to say not really serious criticism of Christy Moore. I think it was more of an aesthetic thing about his hat that he wears sometimes. But I have to roll back a little bit because I went and I watched or listened to him sing this song, Christy Moore, after I heard Gary sing it, and I think it's called "The Contender," but it was written by a Cork man. I can't remember his first name, but his second name is McCarthy, and it was about a boxer, but one of the lines in it, was it wrap the starry plow around me. Now the song is about it's a real life story about a boxer in I'll have the name for you maybe next week, or maybe if I'm quick enough during this episode I'll get it for you. But the it's about this boxer who was born in Cork, and he was a really good boxer, but he struggled with alcoholism, and he ended up dying dying from alcohol related illnesses, basically, on alcoholism. But he was quite famous, and so this guy wrote this song about him, and I think it's called A Contender. But there's some really nice lines in it, and
Christy
it's about,
Moore wrote a song about him. Or
no, Christy Moore just
sorry.
sings the song. He sings the song. There's a guy called McCarthy wrote the song.
Yes.
And but one of the lines in it is "Wrap the starry plow around me," and I didn't know what that meant. Do you know what that means? The starry plow.
Wrap the starry plow around me. No. Are you?
Yeah, so like I had to look it up because it seemed like such a strange. All the rest of the lyrics were quite straightforward, either boxing references, or it was quite a straightforward ballad about a guy who didn't fulfill his potential due to his addiction to alcohol. But then there's this one obscure line in it that I didn't understand, so I looked up the Starry Plough, and it's actually a reference to a flag that socialist Republicans had, and so which I was kind of intrigued by, because I didn't really know about that aspect of Irish revolutionary history. So there was, this whole subset of Irish revolutionaries who would have considered themselves socialists, so socialist revolutionaries. It's hinted at in movies like The Wind That Shakes the Barley. They hinted it a little bit, but so this flag was their flag, was the socialist Republicans.
What was Franco? It's just, I know I'm not completely jumping, but was Franco? What was he
in Spain?
Yeah,
Franco was a fascist. So he was at one side of this, effectively a civil war in Spain in the 1930s, I think, and there was like he fought against, let's say, the socialists, a broad coalition of socialists that fought against him in, like I said, what was effectively a civil war. But Franco was backed by Mussolini and by Hitler, so yeah, it would have been in the 30s. Okay. They were in power at that time.
Any movements again with socialism would have been anti-Franco and
correct. Yeah, he would have been.
Okay, so because it's only because now that you say Cork and you say kind of socialist movement, I know I worked with a guy over here in Berlin, and he used to talk about his father and his grandfather, and he used to talk about Franco, and you'd be always telling me stories when it kind of never really landed. But I guess this kind of Cork connection with the socialist movement in Ireland.
It's referenced a few times, like as in Christy Moore, actually. He has that other song, "Viva la Quinta Brigada." Mm-hmm. That's about is Quinta the fifth brigade? Is that Quinta?
Oh, sorry, man. I did French. If it said Sanka, then maybe I would have understand. But no, sorry.
I don't know my numbers in Spanish, but anyway, so it celebrates this international brigade, which I think was like the 5th brigade, I think, or something like that. And that's what they're talking about, this
it's funny that
brigade that fought in this war between the socialists and Franco's fascists in Spain, and that's what that song is about. And then you've got this guy.
Go on, sorry.
Yeah?
No.
And then you've got this guy, and again, the reason it stands out is because we just said there, we just slip in the political stuff. Like it comes out of nowhere in the song. It's not referenced in any other way in the song. But it's just like, it basically says this guy was a socialist revolutionary when he says "wrap the starry plow around me." There's no other reference to any political affiliations or anything like that. It's not the message of this. It's not the main subject of the song. It's just this one line that's in the chorus, I think, and it stands out so much. But yeah, it's just so weird. But then, so who else then? The Pogues. In the Pogues, they have a song as well, actually, which references Frank Ryan as well. Wasn't he? He was an Irishman who went over and fought in that war as well, I believe, for the socialists, I think. Yeah, so that Spanish Civil War is referenced throughout a lot of Irish music. 'Cause a lot of Irish people, or a number of Irish people, I don't know how many, fought in the International Brigade that went over there to fight on behalf of the socialists on the
Hmm.
left. Isn't that
Yeah,
mad?
that I do know that song quite well, The Contender, by the way. It's just once I just look at the lyrics there now, I have heard that sang like dozens of times.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's kind of one of those kind of late night, someone intimately in the corner kind of singing their song. And when I was young, it was in my day. I know what that's the chorus is like. Look, but they're in the mirror on the wall. I see the dream is fading. On the contender to the brawl. The ring, the rose, the matador is raving.
that's the one.
Yeah,
That's it's a lovely song. It's a
it
really
is
song. I think
gorgeous.
is it.
It is a gorgeous song. I never heard Christy Moore singing it though.
Yeah,
I don't know
that's
who I associated with. I kind of associated with our local radio station, just on every Sunday morning, kind of a
oh
song.
really?
Yeah, yeah. But that's
Um,
Tip FM Golden Oldies Greatest Hits.
I think
Tip FM.
it's about Jack Doyle. I think
Mm-hmm.
is that
Yeah,
is the
Jimmy or
boxer in
Jack Doyle.
question.
Jack Doyle. That's it. Yeah, the Contender, Jack Doyle.
And I think it's written by Jimmy McCarthy. I think I believe from Cork. But yeah, it's strange. Just it says I think it's a Rapistari plough around me. Let the piper's air resound me. There I'll rest until the Lord of Love I'll meet. The Lord of Love. Oh yeah.
He's just wearing a thong.
He's wearing one of those vests that you have on there, Andy. That's the Lord of Love. You go for the black. You go for the black color vest. It's kind of sending the sun mixed signals, I think.
Do you think so?
Well, it kind of attracts the heat, doesn't it? Black
Yeah, I don't
attracts
know.
the looks.
Attracts a lot of
Amorous
things.
heat. Amorous heat.
I don't know. No, I guess it's just more of a. It's part of a package. You can only see the top half, but
So it only goes down as far as your belly button, is it?
it's part of my package. It's just tied up at the bottom there around it.
Okay, it's like
tiny knot.
Okay, it's like a mankini, but like with covering more than the mankini.
Yeah, it's kind of stretching the schlong, but it's stretching it upwards and leaving a landing pad, if you will, underneath the scrotum.
Flattening it, I would imagine, also. No.
Well, it depends on if it's reaching. If you have to pull that tight, it's probably pulling.
Well, if this is a kind of like a mankini situation and it's all one piece, you're like, and you said it's squashing it up. I'm picturing your block and tackle now is kind of like roadkill, like just being squashed up against you.
Yeah, it's snug to the body, but it's not. It's more being stretched, I feel, in my head, anyways.
Okay.
But like, listen, I'll run both tests straight after the podcast. Run that in housekeeping for next week. I'll get some videos.
As long as you're not cutting off circulation to anywhere important, that's the most.
It will be a help to. I don't want any. I don't want that. I want to work into a certain point, but there's certain if there was elements, if there was certain pipes that could be switched off. I know that's possible. I know where I'm going with this. I do know where I'm going with this, and I just want to stop because I'm trying to analogize way too much. It has been pointed out to me on a weekly basis. I analogize way too much, and definitely in this situation, I feel like I need to reverse course.
I do think it's If I'm picking up on what you're saying, if I'm picking up on what you're putting down, Andrew, I feel it's my duty to point out to you that blood doesn't impregnate the ladies. It's not your blood.
Well, I've explained 2 children to me yet. Explain my 2 children. Oh God, those glorious, glorious children.
Yeah, so it's just mad. It's mad that we just landed on that and political statements. And I was blown away by the fact that I never knew about that flag, and it's referenced. It's also referenced in there's a play by a fella. God, a fella called. I'm just working from fucking memory here now, which is bad. But it's I can't remember his name now. But it's called the plow and the stars.
Mm-hmm.
And it's about the 1916 Rising as well. And I never questioned why it was called that. I think it's McCarthy as well, or something, or Macmahurta or something like that.
Plowing the stars.
Yeah, and so again, so that it's referenced everywhere. This flag, but I think it's because, do you know what I think it is? It's because the flag got more and more associated with like the left, like as in like, okay, obviously it was social the left anyway, but as in that became less mainstream, I think, or something like that, and became more associated with like Sinn Féin, and then Sinn Féin splintered, and then a subset of the splinter took possession of that flag, and I think that's why it got so what's the word? Like ambiguous or something like that, and it just became, I don't know. I never remember being shown this flag. I never remember seeing or hearing about this flag.
But I have heard that play as well, and it's kind of funny how you let these things pass you by when you see the plough. Like, that could have been the Kilbarn players that were doing the season of the Plough and the Stars, and you're like, they're doing the Plough and the Stars.
Yeah.
And you kind of just walk with. And even if I went to it, I'd probably just be looking, because I know the people that are acting in it. I'd be just kind of staring at them and kind of maybe not really grabbing the true meaning of the story, but just more, look at your wand. Look at your wand up there, fucking.
Yeah. Doesn't Johnny's wig look really funny? Like I remember that, like there was like Kilbarn players, and they had a play on. I can't remember what it was, but it was the first half of the play was set a good few years before the second half of the play, so the actors had to appear younger. So one of the actors put on, I'm not joking, a full-on afro wig on their head.
To be a younger character.
To be a younger character. And when he came on stage, the fucking laughing, the place erupted. Like, you know what I mean? And it wasn't a comedy. Like, it wasn't meant to be a comedy or anything. Like, but the fourth wall, if you like, was completely shattered by this big, hairy fucking
Did he manage to put the fourth wall back together?
Well, in fairness now, actually, do you know what? It actually was really good, because if I remember, it was a good few years ago, but
disarmed everyone, disarmed the audience.
It kind of did. So so anyway, the second half of the play, you see, he had the wig off, and he'd gone through some hard times, and it was kind of good. It was actually, because it's like, okay, bit of joviality or whatever at the start, and then the wig was off the second half, and you could see, okay, it's like he's kind of down and out a little bit or something like that. And but I'll never forget him coming on stage.
Alopecia.
No, it was actually a bit darker than that. I think I can't really remember exactly what it was, but I think the play was Big Mag. No, it wasn't Big Maggie. No, I can't remember. But it was good. But yeah, I like that. When you know the people, it's harder to get lost in the thing, especially when one of them comes on and wears a full on fucking afro that you would see in like a 70s movie set in Harlem.
Spike Lee presents.
I think my favorite line of a guy with an afro was Clint Eastwood in one of Clint Eastwood's Dirty Harry movies. And he went into a barber shop, and it was all black guys. And he said, this guy comes up to me and goes, "Well, if it ain't the fuzz, man, you're about as welcome here as a turd in a swimming pool." That was so cool. Good dialogue.
The Plough and the Stars is a 4-act play by writer Sean O'Casey.
Sean O'Casey.
That was first performed on the 8th of February 1926 in the Abbey Theatre. Set in Dublin and addresses the 1916 Rising. The play references the starry plough flag, which was used by the Irish Citizen Army.
That's right. That's it. It was the Irish Citizen Army. Sorry, and then it became when that thing split or whatever, they had an internal fracture. It kind of became associated with one side of that argument, and then it happened again and happened again. But so it's quite obscure now. But back then it was quite a central flag for it, like that. Quite a prominent Irish Citizen Army. But I'd never like I was just surprised I'd never heard of it. So, and nor you had either, I guess.
No, I hadn't heard it. I never thought of it really. And even that song that I'd heard of many times, I didn't know it was called The Contender. It's because it's got a beautiful melody, and anytime that anyone sings it, like I don't know who, I feel like I'm imagining Paul Brady singing it actually for some reason. I'm sure Paul Brady did a version of it. So it's because that's whose voice is stuck in my head at the moment. But yeah, no, Plough the Stars, liking their characters as well. The Clitheroes, Jack and Nora Clitheroe, Bessie Burgess. Mrs. Grogan was a charwoman. You know what a charwoman is?
I do not. Do you?
Well, I do because I have the answer in front of me, though. Charwoman, so one of the characters is Mrs. Grogan. She's kind of anyway, our occupational terms, a char are occupational terms referring to a paid part-time worker who comes into a house or other building to clean it for a few hours a day of the week, as opposed to a maid. All right. Okay, so it's just someone that comes in, a charwoman, char girl, or char lady.
Interesting.
And then there was Malzer Gogan, a daughter of Mrs. Gogan, who's dying of tuberculosis. So watch out for that character. The old TV.
Yeah, it's not a comedy, obviously. And from what I remember, yeah, it's not a comedy. But a good play. I have to say, it's a good play. Like, it's all bit sad. But some of the stuff is a bit. But I suppose asks good questions. You know, I think it's nice. You know. Nice to go to see these things sometimes.
Just that I see tuberculosis there now. I was correcting stories this week, just from kids for their final, whatever grade that they're supposed to get, whatever that means. And but one of the kids, I gave them all like 4 words that they had to use, only to anchor them, and so I'm not just trying to understand, like, because a lot of them like to write about fucking, I don't know, I like to write about fucking Minecraft and fucking Roblox, and they start using fucking words that are in these things that I just piss me off. And I'm just like, what is this? This is not vocabulary. These are not words. These are made up shit. Anyway, I shouldn't be so humbuggy about it. But one of the kids, so one of the words I gave was doctor or vet, fluffy, silent, and can't remember what the 4th word was. And they just had to basically write a story about that. And I'd shown them how to kind of plan out a story and write a story. One kid, like, which it was really out of left field, it came nowhere, but like, he just kept referencing how everyone had polio in his story. Just like, it was a real one. I got to and these stories are only like an A4, maybe 2 A4 pages long. They have to be like 5 paragraphs. And just straight off the bat, it was like the doctor, someone was visiting the doctor because they had polio. But then when they tried to get cured of the polio, they actually spread the polio. And he just kept on saying polio throughout the whole thing. And I'm like, you've obviously got either this is in your wheelhouse, or you're reading some story at the moment. But it's an unusual angle, but entertaining nonetheless. It was very entertaining.
How do you spread polio? Sexually, I presume.
It was a very, very dark essay. These 8-year-olds in Germany, they are experienced.
Yeah. Polio is an STD, as I know.
So yeah, anyways, the tuberculosis sign there just reminded me of that. So you had so you're at the session, and you heard the contender.
I did, and such a nice time. It was last night, and I had a few pints, and so not feeling 100% today, but just lovely creamy pints. And I do like the random conversations you sometimes have in bars. Westward Ho in Mungret, a fantastic pub, and lovely Guinness, lovely, and just a barman then as well. Andy is his name.
Lovely arse. Lovely arse. Sorry.
Yeah, you've been in Westward Ho, haven't you? So
I have.
Speaking from experience,
first-hand experience.
Yeah, he started like showing me his tattoos and stuff, which was, it's fun to talk to somebody who's really into something, no matter what that thing is. I really get a kick out of that. And generally, people who have a lot of tattoos are really into their tattoos. And so yeah, he had gotten a new one and was really proud of that. But he fucking showed me a Jimi Hendrix one he has, and it was unreal. It looked incredible. I'm not tattoo person. I wouldn't know anything about tattoos, or I don't think I could get decisive enough to get a tattoo. You know what I mean? I'd be afraid that I'd change my mind about something and then I'm stuck with it. You know what I mean? That kind of way. But I'd say once you get one, you're like, okay, well that dam is broken now. I might as well just get in the old shit.
If you get like a giant question mark on your back, something enough out there that makes you seem deep, makes you seem like you're considering life, and yet are confident enough to get a big giant question mark on your back.
I just get a picture of you on my back.
That would be nice as well. I think that would be nice. That would probably attract the same kind of confusion as the question mark. They'd be equal.
But very decisive though. Like, one thing you could not be accused of is indecisiveness. If I got like a giant tattoo of your face on my back, I think wearing a vest.
Yeah, it is.
Give us a bit more.
And even I'm even sweating now in this in this tiny vest, listeners. This tiny vest.
It's so small.
You still get to witness the dribble of sweat reach the tip of my nose and hang there for hours on end.
Are you doing that? Are you doing that thing that you do? Like, do you go like this regularly now? Oh, Jesus Christ!
Nah, that's definitely more hangover. That's a more hangover thing. No, I don't.
Just for everybody listening, if you're ever drinking with Andy, day 2, like, you just start hearing this every 10 minutes. Oh my fucking God! Oh Jesus Christ! Oh fucking mate! Or some iteration of that type of expression will come from Andy. Like, literally, I think every 10 minutes or every 20 minutes, like, oh fucking Jesus Christ! Oh my fucking God! And then you call him on it, and you try to put a brave face on. I think the sooner you start drinking again the second day, the better. Then you just kind of get over that.
Yeah, or just don't drink so much the day before, and then it will probably be fine as well. The only way to overcome this is to drink earlier.
Yeah, to borrow the tagline from the world's greatest movie, The Core, the only way out is in.
Yes.
Fantastic movie.
Here's to a summer of beers in Berlin. It's a big weekend in Berlin, actually. It's a 48-hour night. 40. I remember my very, very, very first teaching job in 2006, having to write the number 40 on the board and doubting myself and going, how do you spell this? But it is FOR. You drop the U for 40, don't you?
Yeah, you do.
For some reason, I don't know why that jumped into. It's because I was saying 40. Sorry, yeah. It's 48-hour Neukölln weekend, and it's actually Fusion weekend in near Berlin as well. So it's a big fucking music weekend ahead here. But I will not be making it to Fusion, sadly. Fusion, you know what Fusion is, do you?
Yeah. Have you ever gone to that?
No, never. I've still holding on to hope. I was picking up my kid from basketball training, and I was talking to Dad who's heading up there on Sunday. He's leaving at 6:30 in the morning, driving up there. I'm going to spend the whole day there and then come back at 10:30 that night. He said he's been going. He hasn't been there for 10 years, and he used to go there every year. I didn't even know it was going on that long. I thought it was like a relatively new festival, but it's been going on quite a while. It's this like if you're looking for a good festival in and around Berlin around this time of year, then Fusion is definitely one that I've heard is supposed to be out of this world. And it's a lottery system for tickets. You can't actually buy just tickets. You have to enter the lottery to get it. It's Glastonbury's that way as well. It's Glastonbury this weekend as well, actually.
Yes, that's correct. It's going on at the moment. Next year we'll be there.
Next year, yeah.
Performing.
This time next year, Fortnite will be millionaires. I guess so. But of all those nice things like Glastonbury Fusion, I'll be at 48-hour Neukölln, which is an art exhibition kind of weekend. So it's a lot of kind of small shops and yeah, a lot of small shops, coffee shops, or just clothes shops, kind of just open up as bars and stay open all night, kind of
Mm,
displaying artist works, like paintings or indeed other weird stuff that you can find
okay.
around the place. So yeah, so we're going to head out to that tomorrow evening. Other than that, then no, it's going to be relatively. I'm bookending both my whole weekend with basketball tournaments, so it's kind of as a parent. And if you don't have kids, then you're not going to give a shit because your life is your own. But my kids have ambushed this weekend, and one of them had a tournament today, and the other one has a tournament on Sunday. So it just feels like everything is worked around these two events. You know, when you're kind of sandwiched between two things, you feel like you can't relax because you've got the thing coming up in the future, and it's
Mm.
like, but I'll do my best. I'll do my best.
You really like basketball also, though. I think that
That's
kind of
true.
helps
That's
too.
true. But I don't like these basketball tournaments because this is the school basketball tournament,
Ah, not the Tigers.
which is a it's a totally different fucking scene. It's just like because it's a lot of people that like. Yeah, I might have an interest in basketball. I like playing on the school team, and a lot of parents that come and bring their kids with them as well. So it just ends up being a noisy, messy, kids crying, wanting snacks. Nobody's really there for the basketball. Yeah, it's not been taken serious enough for me.
Sounds
But I don't
awesome.
want to be. I don't want to be a humbug. So
Mm.
uh,
You need to get out your system on this podcast,
just
though, basically.
well, since it's my kid's final tournament our final time to play with this team, he seems determined. He was in Poland last weekend for a basketball tournament for a whole weekend, and he has developed the competitive gene. The competitive gene has evolved over the course of 7 days with
Mm.
him, and you can definitely see it in him. He went to Poland. I think I was telling you about this in off the podcast as well, but for the purposes of the podcast, he went to Poland to a basketball tournament with the under 11 teams, and he was playing against mostly Polish. So he played against couple of Polish teams, Lithuanian team, and was it Albanian? No, Bulgarian team, and the Eastern Europeans, they don't fuck around. They are not a softly catchy monkey kind of
Yeah. That's not their
approach.
reputation.
It's not
That
their
was never their
reputation, and
reputation
it's
for anything.
no, yeah, it's the direct kind of. It's we're getting in and getting our hands dirty straight away, and I think
Mm.
that goes throughout the ages. So he came back a tougher nut. So I'll be interested to see how it goes on Sunday when he's playing against kids that just touching a basketball for the first time. It's like,
Oh, man.
you dead, crushed. So
You'll be
yeah,
proud. You'll be a proud daddy if that happens,
I'll
I
be
think.
somewhat proud. Yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very good.
It really is enjoyable. But what the mad thing about like these things, and this is like we brought. I know we've spoken before about hurling and growing up playing GAA, whether it was Gaelic football, hurling, Irish sports, whether it's Gaelic football and hurling, and but like I guess it's just a done thing in it's definitely I guess in America, like was that movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt. Um, have you watched that movie Moneyball?
I love that movie. Yeah.
Okay, so you know the premise then is statistically following players to see how good they are, kind of, and then hiring them. It's just like, and the whole time Maliki was away, this whole tournament, we were able to look up. There was a website that you could look up and click on his name, and you get a total summary of his statistics from the games, from all 6 games. So you get kind of how many points he scored, how many assists he made, how many defensive rebounds he got, how many offensive rebounds he got, how many times he gave the ball away, how many times he stole the ball. Um, and then like they have a way of calculating his efficiency score then, or how many free throws he earned and how many of those free throws he made, and it all
Mm.
just like it's crazy, just it's really enjoyable as a kind of a, I guess it can get weird. Like as a parent, you're just kind of interested, and so you're starting going through all the stats of how your kid's doing, and then you're kind of popping around to see how other kids are doing and stuff like that. But it's a real fucking. It's about like we were away at the weekend, and like I was just stuck to my phone, just kind of staring at these stats from my 9-year-old. But yeah, it's just kind of it's mad how they collect that stuff and they do use it. Then I think like I definitely think in Germany, because when you sign up with the I think it's called the DFB, the Deutsche Federation of Basketball, like a German Deutschland Federation of Basketball.
We
And,
had this before. Yeah, I've
we did,
forgotten what the acronym is, but yeah.
Yeah. So so yeah, it's just another, and that's the kind of the start of all the stats holding. I don't think they did it up until this point, but now it's going to be moneyballing this shit.
Man, he's gonna make you guys so much money. Every bounce.
Oh, it's all in. It's all in my kids, man. I've invested everything. I'm rolling the dice. I've told them I'm giving up on me. Okay. For some reason, like, well, listen, the podcast will get us a bit of the way, but you're going to have to bring it home. Bring it home with a Nike contract with Nike, or a contract. So yeah.
Like that I would have hated that if there was something like that when we were kids.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I would have hated that. Ed's efficiency, Jesus. At hurling. My God. We're into negative numbers. Does Ed know about negative numbers? Does he know that they exist? This will be his first foray into negative numbers.
Yeah. I don't. It would be strange, but also I can imagine the chaos in the side of Irish fields as well, where someone's trying to keep an eye on all these scores and assists and pass. And just
yeah, I remember once the AGMs are. You've gone to AGMs.
Yeah, they're not the best, but they're
not the best.
They're terrible, but they're hilarious because of the formality of a bunch of just. Because I'm one of them, like, but just go country or go home, whatever. It's just like we're just country people that are trying to, even to this day, trying to chair a meeting would be just comedy with me back in Berskane, and just kind of being part of it and trying to be on the committee or trying to make a point and addressing the chairman and calling him, well, chairman. And I can still picture my own dad. Listen, chairman, I don't know. And talking to someone that is just up the road. It's just kind of comedy, but I guess it's not. I guess it shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah, there's this weird. There's these weird protocols that you have to follow to give it the air of legitimacy, but it's such a thin veneer, it's paper thin, and it does. And like if there's even a hint of acrimony, like it all just falls apart. It's like, well, you're only a fucking bollocks anyway. Do you know what I mean? The proper language is dropped straight away. And I remember I was at one of them. This is an annual general meeting for anyone who doesn't know. I was at an annual general meeting for the hurling club years and years and years ago, and there was a bit of controversy, not controversy, but there was this thing where they wanted to. There was at the time there was a manager, and then there was two selectors, and they wanted to make it so that there was
two assistant coaches.
Yeah, so they were all kind of, so there's three in total on the management team, let's say, and they wanted to make it, those who were there at the time wanted to make it three, or wanted to make it five, so they wanted to increase it by two. But like, it's not just the subject that is under discussion; it's personalities that come into it as well, and like, so whoever proposes it at these meetings, they don't just have, let's say, the counter arguments against them. They have the people who don't like them as a personality against them. Like, that's what lines up against them, which I suppose is normal human nature. But anyway, this was proposed, and I was sitting beside a guy who didn't like the person who had proposed it. And, I kind of got on with everyone. You know what I mean? Wasn't like a factional person.
Why were you there in the first place?
It was everyone. It was everyone. It was like
the club who could go. Yeah, as a player in the club, it was seen to be you should go to these things.
Yeah. Even me, like. So anyway, so I was sitting there anyway in the crowd, I guess, and this debate was going on, and then it came time for a vote, and I was like, I don't fucking feel strongly one way or another. I'm just going to abstain. Do you know what I mean? Just because it was held in a small hall, right? So I was abstaining from the vote, so I didn't vote one way or the other, right? What fucking happened? Deadlocked. They had done a head count. So they knew how many people were there, right? I was the only one who had abstained, so I fucking became the deciding vote. He believed that.
I do.
And I was
I had
sitting
never heard that before.
and I was sitting beside a guy. The guy who was sitting beside me was like, was against having 5 guys on the selecting panel. And he turns to me and he goes, like, he put in his speak to me, like, on the side, he goes, well, like, what the fuck do you want fucking 2 more? What's the word to use? Said something like, what do you want 2 more fucking cunts shouting at us from the sidelines for fuck's sake? There isn't every fucker in the stand a fucking a member of the fucking management committee now. They all have their fucking say. He was really getting like agitated by that, like, agitated by the whole thing. And I was going, oh yeah, I suppose, Jesus Christ, where's the exit? I now have to fucking jump. Now,
Shows his starry plow tattoo. He's like, listen, I would, if you want to fucking be on the right side of fucking history, man, then I think we need to go 3 selectors and not 5.
I think there's lots of real estate for a grave down that hurling pitch head, if you catch my meaning. So I think the way I did it, I was like, well, this guy is sitting closer to me, so I'm just going to vote the way he wants me to vote.
You were actually asked to make the deciding vote?
Yeah. Yeah. You fucking imagine that shit.
They put the next 12 months of this club's management on the shoulders of a 17, 18-year-old, I guess.
I don't know what age I was. I was probably a little bit older than that, but yeah, isn't that fucking insane? I mean, like, talk about being in it. I think it was my first time going to one of these meetings as well. And there'd been votes on things before, you see. There'd been votes preceding this one on about other stuff. And loads of people had abstained. You know what I mean? So abstaining is a thing. It's fine. It's like you just don't vote. It's fine. So whatever majority votes carries the day, But this vote, which was like hotly contended between 2 camps in the club.
And it's pretty much like the it's like the main role of the club. Like this is the tip of the spear that you've got to decide what is going to be.
Isn't it insane? Wasn't that an insane fucking position to find yourself in? Like, I mean, why? I was sitting there going, because in my mind I was going, but none of this matters. Like, I was like, in my mind I was going like none of this matters. If we're any good, we'll win. It doesn't fucking matter if we've 3 lads or 5 lads on the sideline. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, why?
I remember getting quite not that I was very much. I remember being at meetings outside of the AGM meetings. I'd be like, not there weren't coups as such.
I've heard of these stories. I've heard these stories secondhand, not from you. Actually, I got them confirmed by you, but I didn't hear them from you firsthand.
All right. What?
yeah. I've heard of you, like, you were in it because you were good, so you could be passionate about it, and it was normal for you to be passionate about it. So I remember you telling me about some of these meetings where, you were like, you call out guys who weren't where you felt they weren't pulling their weight as players, right?
Well, I also they weren't so much AGMs. They were like they were post games or build up to games, okay. and expectations being put on players. And I lost my mind a couple of times. I had to drive around one particular incident where I called out like 3 people. One of them a friend of ours actually who grew up in or maybe one someone, I can't remember who it was, but I remember I cut a little too close to the bone in terms of my comments. Like, I didn't. I wasn't.
Your mom
I didn't
is
call
fat.
out.
Your mom is super fat.
No, I the comment I made was, I don't care I don't care how good you are. I don't care what your background is, and I don't care who your father is, which was clearly a direct hit on us. Like, all right, let's look around here at who's a coach on this team, who's got a son on this team, and who could Andrew be talking about. But I did it in enough of a way that, like, a real sneaky politician's way of kind of having a dig without being called out, saying things there. Yeah, smoke and mirrors,
camouflage.
But ended up pissing off quite a few people there. But maybe. But I for some reason in my head, because I had such passion back then as well. I remember I was just like, when I think back on the hurling and just like, as you said, how much it doesn't fucking matter, but
Mm.
how much it mattered to me for so long until I was
But
like,
you were, but that's the point, Andy. Like, it's easy for me to say it didn't
I
matter because I
wasn't
was
that
shit.
good. I was all right. Okay, I was better than you, but I wasn't that good.
That's not it's setting a bar low for yourself. They're
That's
not saying you're better than me. Like, I mean, but like, you know what I mean? Because when you're shit at something, it's okay to be like, none of this fucking matters. You have no choice. That's your brain's like defense mechanism kicking in and going, if you think this is important and you're this bad, it's going to really hurt your brain. So I'm just going to flick this switch so that you think none of this matters. Do you know what I mean? And that's your opinion now. And now your brain is
I'm
going to be
staying.
okay and you're not going to go insane.
And suddenly
And
you're being asked whether it's life or death for these two
yeah,
people. It's just like, should they
decide
live
the
or should
future
they
of the
die,
club.
Ed? Yeah,
The
it's
future
just
of the club, it like the Caesars of old. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Yeah, fucking
that
hell.
would have
It
been
was so
great.
funny.
It
Like,
would have been
like,
brilliant if that was your response. You just put up your
yeah,
thumb. It's
just
just like,
exactly just and like the whole fucking room just fucking focused on me. Uh everybody. Because they knew I was the only abstention. The only one who didn't put his hand up. I was the only fucking one. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I thought I'm in a crowd here. I'll be
oh,
anonymous. I want and about a subject I don't give a fuck about, and now I have to fucking cast my fucking vote because it was deadlock. I couldn't fucking
yeah,
believe
these
my luck.
these like non, I don't know, because they're non-profit, but what do you call them? They're like, they're not like
Voluntary.
voluntary. Yeah, these voluntary organizations and stuff like that. It's just, yeah, it's a melting pot
Mm,
for all kinds of characters. I imagine like charity shops, the same kind of thing, like, you know, where everyone, where all that's needed as an initial thing is just like a willingness to come in and help, and that's a very wide net to cast. We don't pay you
yeah,
anything, but you know, everyone's welcome. I'd say that charity shops, voluntary groups, yeah,
yeah. I went
interesting.
into. There was a shop. There's a shop in Limerick. I don't think it's there anymore, but it sells. It used to sell religious books. I don't know why I looked behind me as if I was expecting to see the shop from my window, but I can't. But it was in there. I think on Catherine Street in Limerick,
I do know
and
that the shop that sells just all little candles and, like, you know, if someone's
yeah,
making their first Holy Communion. I know
that's
that
the
shop.
one.
I don't know if it's still there at all, but I remember passing it quite a few times.
Yeah, that's the one. And I went in there for something. I think I had to get a christening candle. Actually, now that you mention it, and I ended up kind of buying a book called "Who's Who in the Bible," and just something that explains all the different characters and how they're all kind of related. And
It's like Top Drums. It's like Bravery 56.
I don't know those references. What the fuck are
Miracle.
they?
You know Top Drums, where you could, like, you know,
No,
if you have cards, like, you get them for like cars. And if you got the Lamborghini, it would say the top speed is 556. And then the next person has the other card and they see what their top speed is. And if my top speed beats your top speed, you don't know Top Drums?
no, that I do
That's
not know what that is.
very strange that you don't know that. I felt like
Hmm.
that was a standard kind of growing up, that everyone knew Top Drums.
No, Terry Glass maybe.
So,
The
yeah. But
thing is different
no,
down there.
basically, it's a set of cards. If I'm imagining the religion one of this, so it's basically you get 52 cards in the deck. You got Jesus, you got your Moses, you got your Joseph, you
Mm.
got your Mary, you got your. I'm trying to come up with more female characters for the old thing, but it's probably a bit
Eve,
difficult. Eve, yeah, you could do an Adam and Eve in there as well, and basically
yeah.
you kind of and
Mary
then
Magdalene.
we have to give them five things that we can rate on them.
Okay,
So if you're to breaking this down, like, let's stick with Mary Magdalene and Moses, you could do it like courage, and it's out of
right.
10. So,
Hmm.
like, Moses, fairly brave, went, like, up, broke the tablet, went back up, came back down, wasn't afraid, wasn't fucking around within the desert, led the Israelites out. So, you know, he's probably at a 9, 10. Whereas, I don't know,
Hmm.
yeah, Judas Iscariot, or not, no, Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus with his courage, probably down a 1 or 2. So if that card was drawn against Zacchaeus, comes up against Moses, and the person that has Moses says courage 9, he takes Zacchaeus' card, puts it in the bottom of his deck, and then continues on. Sorry, that's not what you bought. I'm sorry.
Sounds like an awesome game. I think I think there's a big market there, Andy. I think we need to. I don't think we should air this episode before we take care of business on that one.
If there isn't, I would be very surprised if there's not
Ah,
already a religious top trumps out there.
we need to, man. We need to. I'm getting excited now, actually, about that. I don't even want to. There's no point even telling the rest of my story until we come up with some artwork and like some concept art for that product.
Too
That should
fucking
just-
late, man. Too late. They got there. So we've got one
Damn it.
here. So we've got. Oh no, but this is done in churches. So it's like I don't know what the thing. So you've got in these particular top trumps. You have to choose a religion. So are you struggling to choose a top religion? Can't decide between Bible thumping say the word for me.
Evangelical.
Evangelism, though? Evangelism?
Evangelism.
Evaginism. Vaginism. Or gentle Buddhism. The process fun and these are God trumps. So these are called.
Sign me up.
So these are called.
Give me the good word. Give me the good word. I'm here to preach me the word of vaginalism.
Made in 2008 by Christina Martin. God trumps are cut out and keep metaphysical card game for all the family. So one of the cards. So we have Church of England. Age. Go on, you go. Only gets 4 out of 10 because it's not old.
1500s, I'd say.
So yeah, 500 years old. Only invented so the king could get a divorce.
Yeah,
Wealth.
frick.
Church. Also, it's based on age and wealth. What do you think it's going to get out of 10 for wealth? The Church of England.
Oh, but it's only confined to England, so I'd say maybe a 3.
No, it's got 8 out of 10.
What?
4 billion was the wealth. I guess it's current wealth. Church of England. Follower dedication. Out of 10.
5.
2 out of 10 they gave them in this. Again, these are not official numbers, but this is what I guess Christina and Martin Rosen did. 2 out of 10. Hobbyists, hedge betters, people who like a song on a Sunday morning is the little blurb that comes after him. Daffyist doctrine. I don't know what that is. I guess it's just the weird things they believe. So they don't have much weird things to believe. That's why this looks like a pretty shit card, actually. Weapon of choice.
We could do better than that.
Church of England's weapon of choice is tutting loudly, and which gave them a 4 out of 10. And are they easily offended? Quick to complain, but do they really care? 2 out of 10. What do you think Jehovah's Witness? Okay, Jehovah's Witness.
I think your one's better. Your one's way better, man.
Yeah, we got to go with courage. Jehovah's Witnesses got a 10 out of 10 for Daffyist doctrine.
What's their Daffy doctrine?
Don't give my child a blood transfusion, and there's only room for 144,000 people in heaven. They have 6 million members. Is Jehovah's Witnesses there's only a room for 144,000 people in heaven?
Didn't know that.
I didn't know that either. Fucking strong card though. Follower dedication, 8 out of 10.
Gotta be hard being a Jehovah's Witness. You have to really call around to people's houses and things like that. That's got to be tough.
How old do you think Jehovah's Witnesses are?
I don't know.
Only 100 years old.
100?
100, yeah.
It's pretty new.
Yeah. Top card then is fucking the Hindus. Oldest religion, possibly the oldest religious tradition, so they get 10 out of 10 for that. Their wealth is off the fucking chart. Follower dedication is the 3rd largest religion on earth. And they get a 10 out of 10 for Daffyist doctrine. Why? You probably get that.
The Hindus? Is it reincarnation, maybe?
No, something about the cow worshipping. Hindu deity Devana lives in it. Sorry. So cow worshipping, full stop. And then the Hindu deity Devagna lives in the anus of the cow. I don't know if that's true, but that's something I'll have to look up there. But yeah, there you go. So their deity Devagana lives in the anus of a cow.
Okay. Well,
Anyways,
learning lots of things here. Learning
so
lots of
what were
things.
we
But
talking about there? Sorry, I kind of.
you. I think you were going to have you were marketing a new game, Andy, which I think would have been better than that one. Top Trump when it comes to like religious characters, I think. Or something.
Yes, the characters, go deeper in the characters.
Mm.
I haven't. That was my first search there. I'll do a little bit more digging, and then I can come up with some prototypes
Nice.
for you for next week.
Cool. Yeah. No, it was kind of just about the reason I started talking about that shop was because you were talking about like people who volunteer for things and you get like cast a white net and whatever. But I went into the shop and I bought a candle and I bought this book and I was paying at the checkout and the lady who seemed like a lovely lady, and then she started talking to me and it became apparent, do you know, quite quickly that she was crazy, that she was a crazy person. And she started talking to me about like hardcore religious stuff. I mean, you know what I mean? Like in Ireland, not most of us don't really talk religious talk, really. You know what I mean?
No,
You
yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
even hear a priest talking about like this. You know what I mean? She was like, talking about just the Holy Spirit coming down and feeling it on her skin, and how, you know, she remembers when the Holy Ghost came into her life and the Spirit of Jesus and all this kind of stuff. And it was the feeling it on her skin was the one that kind of resounded with me. And thankfully, I paid with card, so I didn't have to get any change or anything like that. I just was like paid and then just kind of left. But I was like, fucking hell! All I wanted was just to buy a candle. But so yeah, you're right. This kind of
I can imagine. Yeah, I can imagine the
but
old.
she was very
church.
intense about it. I mean, she seemed like a nice lady, but like very intense. But could you imagine, like, if you've got such a profound belief in something, does that affect other things in her life? You know what I mean?
Isn't she
Like,
always kind of
yeah,
a
like
bit
the
drawn to that,
mundane.
drawn to the conflict of that, or to
Like
finding conflict with someone?
if somebody cuts her off at a junction or something, or I don't know, it's just a weird one. I think it's just if that's so omnipresent in your life, how does it impact everything? I don't know. It's a weird one.
Hmm.
What's her top trump?
You know, I'm listening to actually now, and I know we're getting close to our quota of time.
Mm.
I've been listening to Richard Dawkins. I don't
Oh
know
yeah.
how long ago it is he's doing, but he's doing his final tour of the U.S. with his new book. Oh God, the genetic book, the genetic book of the dead.
Okay.
But it's well worth. I like well worth listening to. Like I started off by listening to only a 7-minute clip of him because he has quite strong views on transgenderism, and not so much on people who are transgender, but more the scientific argument for it and the trying to redefine male and female and whatnot. And it's quite interesting to hear him talking about that. But then you go to I've listened to about 5 of them already, and I'm just loving it because it kind of feels like you're on tour with Richard Dawkins. It, like if you listen to them one after another, because some of the themes, like each presenter that's talking, or each person that's talking to him and interviewing him, does like a 45-minute interview, and then they open it up to the audience, and then they do different approaches. Like they talk about, one of them is about AI, one of them is about new atheism, the rise of God and stuff like that. And as you know, like Richard Dawkins is a fairly staunch atheist, and just a little recommendation for you if you're looking for
Mm.
something to kind of tip away and work away, because it's just really nice. And the fact that you're kind of listening to one that you've heard already, or not, you're listening to a new show, but he's talking again. Some of the themes repeat themselves, which I really like, because oftentimes the first time I hear these things, I can't. Well, I don't fucking internalize them 5 times after hearing them, but it's nice. It's somehow reassuring to kind of go
Mm.
around. So it's kind of like you're on tour with Richard Dawkins, which I
Cool.
highly recommend.
The book,
Yeah.
what, the genetic book of the dead? Is that what you
The
call it?
Genetic Book of the Dead. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
probably gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it a read.
Nice.
Check
nice,
it out.
Nice, nice.
But the last time I
Okay.
went down that road of science, it didn't work out well. Just I'm no closer to understanding quantum physics, Mr.
Mm.
Tyson.
Yeah, maybe you started too big. Maybe.
I think I
Maybe
definitely did. Yeah. I'll figure it out.
Cool.
I'll give you an update next week. I need to get to the end of the last of Mohicans. Listen, no gigs. I think we have anything to talk about for the coming weeks. Our next gig will be the 16th of July. We're getting towards the end of the thing here. Have a lovely week, everyone. Take care, Ed.
Bye-bye.
Abrupt.
But we do this new thing now where we talk over the music, so we can still get like, you know. So, do you wanna like shit on anyone else, or what do you wanna do?
Who don't I want to shit on it?
Oh God, myself.
Did you ever actually take part in any of the plays for the Kilbarn Players?
No, I didn't have the moxie, didn't have the guts or the talent.
Still time, man. Still time. Keep believing. Take care, everyone.